Who's your commander?
Good luck.
Equip.
Move to combat. Resolves.
Right.
Now, before you attack
Does
me-
anyone have an answer?
Well played.
Good game.
Hello everyone, my name is DJ, this is the Jumbo Commander YouTube channel, and yes, I know, previews are everywhere right now, but I'm not looking at them, I'm looking back at the older sets rotating out of Standard. That's Core 21, Ikoria, Throne of Eldraine, and today, Theros Beyond Death. I'm going to explain the impact the set has had on Commander and tell you about some of the cards you might want to keep an eye on. First, let's see what this set is doing in Commander by checking out the top 10 cards that see play right now on EDHREC.com. Number 1, Thassa's Oracle. It wins games, it's super competitive. Number 2, Dryad of the Elysian Grove. Those extra land drops are great, and the mana fixing is really excellent too. Number 3, Underworld Breach, for all of those graveyard decks and all those combo storm decks out there. Number 4, we've got Nyx Bloom Ancient. Big mana, big casting cost, just a fun over-the-top commander creature. Number 5, we've got Heliod's Intervention. Gain a bunch of life, but more importantly, take out a bunch of artifacts and enchantments. Number 6, we have Destiny Spinner for all of those Enchantress decks out there. Number 7, Uro Titan of Nature's Wrath. If you want an explorer and a creature and you want to be able to cast it over and over again, this card is just pure commander value. Number 8, we have Thassa Deep Dwelling. Look, Flicker decks and Blink decks are so exciting to play, and if you want another source like a Conjurer's Closet, then you're going to want Thassa Deep Dwelling. It also taps things down and smashes in for 6 if you got enough devotion. Yeah, great creature. Number 9, we have one of the best equipments I've seen in a long time. It's Shadow Spear. It's only 1 mana, which allows it to be really flexible about when you play it, how you search it up, but most importantly, it's giving trample and lifelink. Man, trample is huge in Commander games, and also, it's got this really great activated ability, removing hexproof, removing indestructible, allowing you to just tackle a bunch of different things that are sometimes problematic in the format. I'm a big fan of Shadow Spear. And then number 10, we have Heliod's Sun Crowned. It goes infinite with Walking Ballista and a couple other cards out there, but mostly it just slots into every life gain deck perfectly. It slots into +1/+1 counter decks. It's just a really great creature. And that rounds out the top 10 cards being played in Theros Beyond Death and Commander. Also, in order to understand the set, I think we should look at a major theme that sees a lot of play in Commander, and that's got to be enchantments. We have Calyx Destiny's Hand, a planeswalker that deals with enchantments, but I think some of the more played versions are Setessan Champion, a really powerful enchantress effect. It's got Constellation, so it's when enchantments enter the battlefield, you get to draw cards and put +1/+1 counters. That can be great because sometimes enchantments can move in and out of the battlefield a little bit differently rather than casting them. But I also really like Archon of Sun's Grace. You know, they're not 4/4 angels or anything, but 2/2 life-linking Pegasuses are still really powerful, and it's allowed enchantment decks to really grow broad, and we're going to see a lot of other enchantment creatures that just belong in Commander decks. Now, looking at the top 10 on EDHREC, not a lot of these cards we're seeing play in Standard, but there was one card that was pretty dominant. Clothus, God of Destiny, has seen up to 30% of the metagame. Clothus is a powerful legendary enchantment, it's indestructible, costs only 3 mana, and it really does a lot in Commander. With Clothus on the battlefield, you can interrupt your opponent's graveyard, give yourself a little bit of a mana boost if you need it, but most of the time, you're just eating things and dealing 2 damage to each opponent, and you're gaining 2 life. This kind of damage adds up, and I find that Gruul decks really do need to pressure your opponent's life total. Clothus is over $10, and so I'm hoping that price goes down quite a bit as Standard players realize they don't need this card anymore, and Commander players would love to have it. Next, we have a card that Commander players must be sleeping on. It's the 32nd most popular card in Theros Beyond Death. I know it doesn't feel like it, but Elspeth Conquers Death, ECD. It was everywhere in Standard. Elspeth Conquers Death is 3 white for a saga. Exile target permanent opponent controls with converted mana cost 3 or greater. That's pretty much every relevant permanent out there for Commander. On the 2nd level of the saga, it interrupts your opponent's ability to cast non-creature spells, taxing them a little bit more. This can have a big effect when a bunch of your opponents are trying to play their game. And then finally, the 3rd step of the saga says return target creature or planeswalker card from your graveyard to the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter or a loyalty counter on it. This kind of recursion allows this removal spell to be a clean 2-for-1. I'm super surprised this doesn't see a ton more play, and it being a permanent means that we can find ways to get it back onto the battlefield, exile more things, return more things to the battlefield. It's just a solid removal spell that should see a lot more play. Oh, and it's 25 cents. 25 cents, not in the top 25 of most commonly played cards from this set. It's criminal. And then finally, we have one more card that was seeing a tiny bit of standard play. It's Cura, Best the Sea God. This 7-mana saga barely makes it into the top 50 cards that are seeing play in Commander from this set. Cura first creates an 8/8 blue Kraken creature token with hexproof. That's a big creature that's hard to interact with. Number 2, tap all non-land permanents target opponent controls. They don't untap during their controller's next untap step. Yeah, that's target opponents. That is a very mean card, but super punishing. And then finally, gain control of target permanent and opponent controls and untap it. That is a big effect too. And so we have 3 huge effects on an enchantment that you can keep bringing back over and over again. This is just under $4, and hopefully some people were holding on to it because it was seeing some play in standard, and you can pick one up for super cheap. And that's Theros Beyond Death. We have the top 10 that are seeing play in Commander. We have the theme that you're going to want to look at if you like this set. Then we have some things in Standard that we're seeing play that aren't seeing enough play in Commander, and hopefully some hidden gems that you want to buy. If you like this type of video, stay tuned, because there's going to be one on Ikoria, one on Throne of Eldraine, one on Core 21. They're all coming out right after the other, so go ahead and click that bell icon so that you know when these videos are coming out. I'm pretty sure you've already subscribed. I want to thank you for watching this video. I also want to thank Cool Stuff Inc. They're the sponsor of the Jumbo Commander YouTube channel. If you use the coupon code JUMBO5, you can save 5% off your order. I also want to thank my patrons. They're amazing. They support this channel every day. Thank you, patrons. And thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for more of these episodes. Bye-bye, everyone.